Hello. Let me just turn that way down on your end. Oh my goodness, why am I so flummy today? Hello. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm not really quite sure what I want to do today. Just going in raw here. Like, we're just gonna, I don't know, just do whatever for a couple hours until I have to leave for work. So yeah, this is gonna be one of those streams where I just don't really know what's going on. But I figured, why don't we just like relax? It is Halloween. Happy Halloween. Ooh, spooky. Let me see if I can do a spooky effect. Okay. Oh, do. Let's see here. Oh. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Where is it? Oh. Don't mind me, I'm just messing around. Oh? What's this? Hmm. Okay. I don't know. It's a new thing I noticed in VTube Studio. No, I know. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Oh, here we go. This right? He. Huh. Alright. Maybe this works. I'm just messing around with things. Alright. Hmm? Okay. This is... Alright, let's reset all to off. I want to, like, see if this does anything interesting. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Oh! Oh, uh-oh. Oh no! What's happening? Oh no! Oopsie. Okay. Maybe that'll be an interesting thing to play around with. Do they have like voice activated ones? Oh, what's this? Oh. Okay. Let's just. All right. That was interesting. Okay. It's been so long since I've like messed around the VTube Studio. Um. Anyway. Anyway, that was interesting. Okay. Ooh. Oh. Okay. So. Hmm. I don't know if that like showed up on stream or not. I was too busy like having fun with that. Anyway. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I hope everyone is having a good day. Don't mind me. My ADHD is making me like mess around with things again. Um, that was pretty funny. Um, so like I said, tonight is Halloween, where I am at least. I don't know about anybody else. I think I think Halloween's almost over in a lot of the world, but that's okay. It's the 31st where I am right now. It's still morning time, so not quite spooky time, for me at least. Unfortunately, I'm going to be at work tonight. I know, very sad, but you know, that's probably the best place for me to be because, you know, I mean, I'm naturally kind of scary, so maybe like having me contained would be best for everybody tonight. Um, but I don't know. Oh, ooh, there's something I've been watching lately, and I will admit it's because of Twitter that I started watching it. It's called Senritsu Kaiki World, I think that's what it's called. Um, it's a Japanese like found footage series. It's made by the same director of Nuroi, and it's like a little cheesy and corny, but I like it because it just like very heavily leans into. Hello, Zach. Hello. It just like very heavily leans into certain like tropes that kind of itch the brain in a very good way. Um, so it's we are talking about the series I've been watching lately. It's completely on YouTube. It's a found footage series called Senritsu Kaiki World. It's really good. It's a found footage series. All the episodes have been translated into. No, no, it's not. It's not. It's not the same guy. Um, that move, that video is very cool. I have seen that. That video is very cool. I really like that. Hello, Daddy Corn. Interesting name. I like that a lot. But but like so it's definitely a really interesting series. Uh, Again, it's all on YouTube, completely free, and it's been translated into English. And okay, okay. All right, all right. Your daughter calls me daddy now. I mean, y'all can call yourselves whatever as long as it's not anything like offensive. um so like I said, I don't, you know, this is probably just going to be me yapping for a couple of hours. I do have time to to just chill and hang out for a bit. Uh, just been like gonna yap whatever's on my mind, honestly. Um, so like while I was away, there were a few things I checked out while I was away, and that I thought were really cool. Like I said, I did get Silent Hill 2 remake, and I've been really enjoying that. I think like I know some people are kind of like iffy about remakes, but I mean I'm not really. I think it's a good way to introduce an older game to a newer audience, especially since it's not really easy to play the game legally anymore. Um, so I don't know. I've been a very long time fan of Silent Hill, since like the 2000s, like when it came out. Um, so it's one of those things that I hold very dear to my heart, and like hold very like value very much as a creator, and it's something that's made a big impact on me and the way I like create and tell my stories, and like just the way I engage with things. But I thought it was really good. And it's definitely more playable than the old one because the old one's controls were awful. But I think what people love about the series is just the way it tells its story. And like, it has a very interesting way of like exploring complicated themes of like, mental illness and abuse and like trauma and all that, but it does it in a way that doesn't feel like it's like just trying to shock you, and it does it in a very sensitive way, I feel, where it's especially with the story of Angela, like nothing about her story feels like it's exploiting her trauma. um Personally, like I think, well, the thing with Silent Hill 2, it was made by a dev team that very much cared about the original. So I think that was part of it. And like I feel like the way they handled Angela's story was very delicate, and it it, it didn't like tell you exactly what was going on. It never showed what exactly happened to her. But it's pretty much blatant what happened to her. And like honestly, it's heartbreaking. Um, yes and no. There's more to her than just that. Um, Ultimately, Silent Hill 2, in my opinion, is a game about whether or not you believe these people have suffered enough. You should definitely, if you have the means to, definitely check out the remake. Like it's really good. I think it's really good. I think they did a wonderful job. The dev team did. I think Bloober team nailed the meaning of the game. I think also the fact that they brought back some of the original devs and the team, like members of the original team who worked on it, really helped too. And also, if this means anything, the original director of the game like highly praised the remake, because they said a lot of the things that he wanted to do with the game, he just couldn't because of the limits of the technology of the time. But now that the technology has caught up, they were able to kind of stick with what they originally wanted. And also, yeah, it is. It is a. Well, Silent Hill 2 is about guilt because the way you play it doesn't change what James did, but it changes his fate and how he copes with what he did. Yes. Yes, exactly. Like, it doesn't change the fact that he did something horrible. Like, the way you play the game, like, what's done is done. Um, I don't really want to spoil it, especially since the remake just came out. I'm sure you can just look it up because that is like the big like twist of the game. Was he did something very unforgivable to a lot of people, and he didn't really have any right to do it. But how you play the game changes why he did it. And in my opinion, I really don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's somebody who's very complicated, who was put into a very tough situation. And he might not have done it and coped with it in the best way, but it's almost like what else could he have, like he was obviously suffering the entire time Mary was sick, and you can tell that based on like the hints that are provided through the game, like the letters and little cut scenes, and it's just like heartbreaking because it's just like not only Mary's suffering, her suffering was causing James to suffer. And the whole game is basically about James's desire for punishment and whether or not he chooses to move on from it or he succumbs to it, like, or he just makes the same mistakes over and over again. Like, that's basically what the whole game is about. And in my opinion, Silent Hill is its own entity where it's like an intelligent town. It has no sense of right or wrong, but one thing it does is it reflects the heart of those who inhabit it, and it changes because it's just such a strong like place where psychic power is just heavily. Yeah, that's basically what the whole theme of the game is. It's just like it's just a very high concentration of supernatural power, and it reflects those who are in it. So to a person who who's basically not done anything wrong or doesn't have any like big regrets, Silent Hill just appears normal. Like to a child who has yet to experience any actual pain or trauma, Silent Hill just appears to be as a normal town. Like there are no monsters, like everything like is just like not like in ruins. But to somebody who's been hurt, somebody who's scared, who has done something, Silent Hill reflects their heart. But again, it's something that doesn't know right from wrong. So if somebody like has done something where they desire punishment, the town will punish them. And I guess in a way, it's more about finding that truth for as to what happened. Because a lot of the people who go to that town, you know, they suffer from some sort of memory loss. So it's just like it's a town of reckoning. Like, it's more, I guess the town is more concerned with showing, okay, here's what really happened. Like, how you cope with it is up to you. Like, that's the bottom line there. I really hope they do remake some of the other games. I don't know if they'll choose Bloober Team. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's also part of a message from the third game. And that's actually, I think, a Buddhist point is that suffering is just a part of life. And it's up to us how we choose to cope with it. Like, I very much believe that bad things will happen. And I personally think it's not worth it to dwell on it. Like just do your best to move on and like just like, you know, pick up the pieces of yourself and just do the best you can to help your to move forward. That's at least what I believe. Like obviously I've had help. Um and this is why I'm so like on like why I'm so pro like therapy and like medicine, because sometimes it's really hard to do it by yourself, and you know sometimes yes, that's definitely it. Not all actions are equal, but you know that's why we have the justice system in place. Obviously it's not perfect, but everybody who is accused of a crime is entitled to a trial, like, at least in my country. Like that is written in the Constitution, and like part of the jury is a trial of your peers, and it's up to the people who like what your punishment should be. Now, I'm very against the death penalty, like personally, because mainly because it just puts the people who've been wronged through so much more pain, and it re-traumatizes them. Um, Life incarceration, in my opinion, is better because, especially for like the worst crimes, like murder and stuff like that, like the whole point of murder, why it's so bad, is because you stole somebody's future from them. You stole somebody's life. And in my opinion, life incarceration is the equivalent of that, because essentially what happens is somebody's freedom gets taken from them. And I think it's a fair punishment. And also, I feel like there is flaws with the death penalty too. And like I do feel there is an inequality too with who gets the death penalty versus who gets life in incarceration. But that's like a whole can of worms that I will admit I don't know that much about. But like I said, I am not for the death penalty. Um, so yeah, that's oh God. Um, well, I've been thinking a lot because election day is next week. So I guess I've just been thinking a lot about this stuff. Oh boy. God bless America. But anyway, there's some things I wanted to talk about. I do check my timeline, and I look through what's going on, and I saw something really cool. So, if you've all like been tuning in, you know that I've lived in the wilderness for many many years, pretty much most of my life. Yeah, I feel like everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and so I've lived in the wilderness for most of my life, and so I was like looking on my timeline, and I came across a video of a woman with a raven. Now, ravens are so fascinating. Like, I love them. They are so smart and just incredible animals. And one thing about ravens is they can mimic voices and like sounds. Like, I've heard, yeah, yeah, they are amazing. Like, amazing birds. Like I'm obsessed with them. And they are so sweet too. Like, so this woman, she has a raven companion, and she talked about, how when people are out in the woods and they feel like they hear something creepy, and she thinks most of the time it's a raven. Um which makes sense because because I've heard ravens talk and they sound like people. They can make human vocalizations and they sound a lot like a person. And I've heard them say like full sentences. It's so crazy. And I feel like they do understand human speech at some level. Because with parrots, they sound a little robotic, but like ravens can like mimic a human voice, and it is so spooky. And they can mimic accents even, like too. Like the woman in the video said that she's heard the raven like mimic her own voice, and it can also like mimic breathing and like like wood creaking and stuff like that. So I think every time somebody is out in the woods and they hear something spooky, it's probably just a raven, just like saying, "Oh, like hi," and like the raven's probably like laughing at the person freaking out. But hello, Windows. But that's why I love ravens. Is they have a little bit of a mischievous streak too. Yeah. I think they understand at some extent. I think you could train them to understand. And yeah, exactly. Like it's almost like a baby. Like human babies have to learn speech and like they learn word associations. Like I feel like they are so intelligent. Hello. Yes, cats do that. Cats do that. And you can basic, yeah, it's conditioning. You can condition them to like understand certain things. Like dogs are super smart. Like that's why they use them as service animals, is because of how smart they are. Um like one of my friends growing up, she had an Australian Shepherd black lab mix, and that dog could read lips. Like obviously they can like understand the vocalizations and like hear the sound, but that dog could like read lips and like understand what I was saying to it. Because I would do I wouldn't make the sound, I would just like mouth, like sit or speak. And the dog would sit and speak and like do what I told it to, even without the sound. But like I said, I feel like, especially if an animal's been domesticated, they understand human like body language, and like they're very sensitive to our feelings, especially dogs, since they've been specifically bred by humans to be a certain way. But I don't know, I love dogs, they're so cute. Nice. Like my brother has a really cute dog, and I like watching him because, again, he's a smart dog and he listens very well. Like I was watching him one time, and the people across the hall, I guess something on their stove caught fire, and like I could tell something was up because the dog like kind of got up right against me and was like trying to like get me toward the door to like leave. Like he was like grabbing onto my sleeve and like just kind of like dragging me. And I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then like right as he started doing that, the fire alarm started going off, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, let's get him out of here." So I grabbed his leash and like left the building. Luckily, yeah, me too. Yeah. I feel like dogs, like, you need to be around a lot of the time. Like, my brother's dog, you could leave him alone for 8 hours. But anything longer than that, they have to have somebody watch him. Yeah, they're both great. I feel like dogs are good if you work from home, or if you're homebound, or a stay-at-home person, stay-at-home parent, and you want something to kind of remind you to take care of yourself. Because dogs, like, they need to go out, they need to exercise. So it's like a good way to remind yourself, okay, like, I gotta get up and move around and feed myself. Cats are great because if you are not home a lot, like if you work a lot, now cats can usually be by themselves for longer periods of time because they don't need to go out. They can just use the litter box. But a cat that loves you will be so grateful when you come home. Like, they will wait at the door for you, they will greet you, and they're, yeah. Well, I think with cats, they're not really indifferent. It's just they know that some things just aren't worth their time. They teach you how to relax. Cats teach you how to relax. Yeah. Yeah, cats teach you how to relax and to just, like, slow down once in a while. Also, they're really good if you need, like, reminders to, because cats like to be on a schedule. So one thing I would do when I still lived at home is, if I needed to feed my cat, I would, and like take my medicine at a certain time, I would feed him at the same time as I would take my medicine. That way, like, he wouldn't like let me forget to feed him. Like, he would be like, feed me now, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's time for food. Okay, I should take my medicine now. Because, like, alarms don't always work for me, because I'm so bad about this, but I will, like, turn off alarms and then just, like, go back to what I was doing and be like, oh, whatever. Like, shut up. But it's like, oh, like, yep, nature's all day alarm clock. And like, if I was having a bad day, I guess my cat could, like, tell, because I'd, like, be sitting on my couch, and my cat would come over and, like, lay in my lap and purr real loud, and I was like, oh, this is nice. Then, like, why am I mad? Why am I upset? Like, he takes good care of me. Also, one thing too, whenever I get sick, like, whenever I was sick, my cat could, like, tell, because he would do things that he wouldn't normally do. Like, when I would, like, the first time I had COVID, I knew something was off, because he would normally sleep next to me, but he wouldn't, like, sleep on top of me whenever I would go to bed, at least. Like, he would sleep in my lap if I was sitting up. But, like, if I was, like, laying down, he wouldn't lay on me. But, like, when I had COVID, he would, like, lay on top of me. And he would, like, obviously start purring real loud. I'm like, okay, something's going on with him. Like, and then, like, the next day I found out COVID, and I was like, oh. And he did that both times I had it. Like, he would lay on top of me and, like, just try to keep me warm, because I was running a fever, so obviously I felt like I was freezing. But, like, I don't know, they're just, I feel like a lot of people just, like, don't understand how cats think. Because cats, maybe to mercy kill me. No, he wouldn't, like, lay on my face. He'd, like, lay, like, on my legs. And, like, I don't know, he's a good cat. I miss him. I should go see him. He's still at my parents' house, because my parents wouldn't let me take him with me. Um, I think, honestly, it's because my mom would miss him. His name's Pokey. He's a tabby cat, but I've had him for a while now. It's about 15 years. Um, so he's an old man. I got him when he was a kitten, so obviously, like, I've been with him for a very long time. But I think the reason why I wasn't allowed to take him is because my mom would miss him. Yeah. The thing is he doesn't act like an old cat, really. He still runs around and he's still like playful. And like, I don't know. We took him to the vet recently and the vet said he was in good health. So I'm just very glad. But yeah, I love that little man. But since I couldn't take my cat from yeah, from my like from growing up when I first started living with people. But maybe I'll adopt one myself. Like adopt another one to keep me company because I mean, I other than work, I do hang out at home a lot. I'm a little bit of a homebody, and that's okay. I just moved in, so I do want to like enjoy my place and like enjoy the new condo. But once I get settled in, maybe I'll adopt another one. I do have a fondness for black kitties, so maybe I'll find one at a shelter. But that's another thing I don't get is why do black cats have such a bad reputation? Some of the nicest cats I know are all black. Tiny naked hairy man every night. Yeah. I always like I don't know. One of the things that I like when I'm like out and about, like when I would go out for walks, is seeing cats in people's windows. And I don't know, it's just like such a nice sight because you're like, yeah, that cat's like happy and chill and like having a good time, especially if they're sleeping. Like you're like, yeah, that cat is very comfortable where they are. One thing one thing to notice what like this is how you can tell if a cat like trusts you is if they sleep around you. That that's like one way to know that they trust you, or if they like lay with their belly up in the air, that means that they really feel comfortable around you. Like that's a thing. Cats will let you know when they think highly of you because they will allow themselves to be vulnerable around you, and they like won't hide or anything like that. They'll just like sleep or show their bellies because their bellies are very sensitive. So if they're like that around you, that means that they trust you. But I'm actually really good with cats though. Like I know how to approach them. Um, one thing to do is how to approach a cat. Oh, I would befriend the neighborhood cats, the neighborhood street cats. Maybe it's because I smell like a wild animal sometimes. But like one way to get a cat to like kind of approach you, this might not work all the time, but this would usually works. It works what best with house cats, like cats that are used to being around people. But what I do is I crouch, like I squat, and then I stick my hand out and I call for them. I'm like, oh, here you go. I usually like say their name. I'm like, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. And I like stick my hand out and I kind of let them sniff my hand because, cats, they can tell everything about you based on how you smell. Um, and like usually if a cat like smells you and walks away, that means that they're not really like in the mood to interact. But the thing that they do when like the thing that they do when they let you know that it's okay to pet them is if they like rub their cheek on you or their head, that means that it's okay to pet them. Yeah, some cats just don't really like being interacted with, and that's okay. Don't take it personally. Um, like they might not just be used to being around humans, or like they kind of just like their space. Like that's just how. Yeah, let them come to you. Like that's why I crouch down and stick my hand out because that shows. But I don't like really approach them. I let them come to me. If they come to me on their own, then that usually means okay, they're at least curious. So if they like sniff and then rub their cheek on you, that means that they're basically giving you their permission to pet them and like interact with them. Usually, if a cat's like done with the interaction, they'll just walk away. And like at that point, don't follow them because that means that they just want to be alone for them. For them, like I don't know. I've been around cats for a very long time. Yeah, don't overwhelm them. Let them be the one that's overbearing. Like, yeah, because I mean, cats are very naturally curious. So some might just approach you out of curiosity. But like once they start scenting you, then that usually means it's okay to pet them. Um, like especially if you get a new cat too. Like if you yeah, exactly. It's only okay when I do it. Like if you get a new cat, you have to like give them time to get used to you, especially if you like bring them into a new environment. Like when I adopted my cats, what I did was I kind of just like opened all the doors to the areas they would be allowed in and let them like explore on their own. And I kept put their litter box in like a quiet space. Um, yeah, that's usually best, and like let them figure out like where they want to hang out on their own. A lot like if you adopt a new cat, don't be surprised if they hide from you at first. Um, because yeah, because if you like just don't be shocked if they hide from you because again, you are pretty much a stranger to them and they will be like very confused by the new environment, but they'll come around. Like just be sure to feed them and like, give them treats and give them toys to play with. So that way they know like you're somebody that is interested in becoming their friend. And they'll come around. Like, I mean, it took my cats like a week or so to come around when I first got them. But, you know, like it didn't take long for them to be sleeping on my bed with me at night. Um, Now, one of the cats we got, Pokey, he's the one we still have. He's always been friendly, so he came around relatively fast. The other one who we don't have anymore, he was a little tuxedo cat. He was a little more skittish, so I was really the only person he completely warmed up to. Um, so he would always be around me, and like he'd always hang out in my room, and whenever I was downstairs, he'd be with me. He was one of those cats that would follow me around. So he was definitely like my cat. And unfortunately, we lost him back in 2018. But, I'm not sad that I adopted him. I'm not upset. I don't regret it. And I'm very glad I got to have him, even if it was for a short time. But I also say if you adopt kittens, if you get a kitten, like always adopt two because it stresses them out being by themselves. Because yeah. That's cute. That's cute. But like, yeah, just like get two at a time if you adopt a kitten, because kittens don't like being by themselves. They'll get real anxious, and that's when they get into things. And like, but if there's another one, if there's another cat to, yeah, if there's another cat for them to play around with, they'll be so focused on playing with each other that they won't get into they won't like destroyer things. And also, it's like better for them mentally to have another cat around. Like, I know cats are solitary animals for the most part, but like when they're really young, they just like having a playmate. Like that's how they act in litters. Like they play around with each other in litters. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think. So there was a yeah. With when they get older, they don't really need another cat around. I mean, sometimes it's actually harder to introduce another cat to an older cat, especially one that's used to being an only cat. But sometimes it's good to have two. I don't know. I would definitely check in with the vet, because some breeds like to have another cat around while others are more solitary. And like, yeah, definitely ask a vet to see what they think. I don't know. Do you think that animals can like see spirits? Like, I definitely think so. Now, granted, I've lived in a lot of places because my family's moved around a bunch. Um, so when I was a kid, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that means that they just enjoy each other's company. That doesn't. You can tell if a cat does, if they don't like other cats, they will fight. They will freak out. So, like, maybe when I was like still relatively young, like ish, like still kind of growing up and like understanding like what it means to be a human. So there, at, so like soon after, like a couple years after my parents found me, they found my sister, who was still a baby at the time. So, you know, since the family was growing, we needed to get a bigger house, because it wasn't just my parents and like me. I had an older brother too. Um, yeah. So I have an older brother too. Like he was there when they found me. He was already with them. That's why I say older. Like demons age in a very non-linear way. It's like not the same way humans age. Like physically we could be mature, but like sometimes we, like especially with humans, like sometimes we'll have like the manners of a toddler. But like but for all intents and purposes, I was like an adult demon by that time, because you know I am a couple 100 years old. Um, you know, I was a child demon at one point, but then like I grew up. But it was more like this couple found me, and they were like, "Oh, well, we'll take you in," because I was pretty pathetic at the time. And this was like in the 90s. And you know, a few years earlier they found my brother, who is like me. He's a, yeah, Yeah, it's odd. It's odd. It's a bit odd. Like we like I've been able to talk for a very long time. Like I learned how to talk like when I was like a child. But like, I didn't really have anybody to like raise me when I was really like living out in the wilderness. So I was kind of on my own. And so like I just like didn't really understand like etiquette. So like I'd often act very childish, even though I was full grown. Like, like one thing when you're by yourself is you are pretty darn selfish because you're just looking to survive. So, I would often do things that were considered very immature. But yeah, so like they found my brother a few years before they found me. And so like when it came to like development, he was a little ahead of me. I don't really exactly know how old he is. I don't even I don't even know how old my sister is. Um because again, like but we're all like physically adults now. But my sister was like a baby demon when we found her. So, yeah, they were she was very tiny. It was like I was like amazed at how small she was. And then so we took her in and we moved to a different house. Um because because my sister started getting big and she slept in my parents' room like when she was still like a baby. But then she started growing and it's like, oh crap, like this is going to be a big demon eventually. So we moved to a house that had more bedrooms and more space for us to grow. But there was something a little off about that house. I don't know. It's just like the energy just felt off to me. And, you know, being a demon, I can be very sensitive to this stuff. So the first night I stayed there, I like had the worst nightmares I'd ever experienced in my life. And it was scary. Now, one of the things that was a little strange about that house was when we were moving in, the previous owners had left stuff behind. And from what I understand, the previous owner moved out because his wife passed away. So he was selling the house and downsizing. So my parents bought the house from him. And there was a lot of stuff left over from her. Um, there were like toys in the attic and like paintings and like there like this really creeped me out, but there was like taxidermied animals too. And I was like, um, I don't really know what to do with this stuff. So I think we like just got rid of it. Like I think we donated some of the toys to like a thrift shop. I don't really know what happened to the taxidermied animals, but one of them was an owl. I remember that. And so the first night I was there, since my bedroom wasn't like set up properly, so I stayed in like the downstairs family room on the couch, and that was where the owl was. And I just had like horrible nightmares of something watching me. And I was like, okay, these aren't memories because I've never been in this place. And I don't know, it's just freaky. Now, I'm somebody who has frequent night terrors, but that one was like so horrible that I just can't get the image out of my mind. And in that house, I just like never felt comfortable. I always felt like there was something like watching me. And things would happen in that house. that I just like couldn't explain. Like I remember I was like sitting in my kitchen with one of my friends who lived like maybe a block or so away, and we were just sitting, then all of a sudden a bunch of the dishes that had been like stacked on the counter just like fell over and broke on the floor. And I was like, what the heck? Like, because we didn't have an earthquake or anything like that, or even the washing machine wasn't going because we had a really loud washing machine and it would sometimes shake the house, but it wasn't like going at the time. And possibly. But like, I don't know. I lived in that house for a few years, but like I just never felt settled there. Like, I don't know. It's just like something was very off about it. And like for some reason that house is like always dark, even with the lights on and the windows open. And it was like sun shining out. The house was just very dark. And like, I don't know. It's even my sister like said she felt unsettled in that house too. But one thing that happened was one time I was sleeping and I felt there was something looking at me. So I opened my eyes and there was like an actual girl inside my room. And it wasn't my sister because this girl had long dark hair. And at the time, my sister had short blonde hair. And so I was like, well, what is this? And so I like called out to her. I said, hello? And she like looked at me and then and I blinked and she disappeared. And this wasn't like a sleep paralysis episode because like I distinctly remember this. And like, yeah. But there was like noises too. Like I could hear her breathing. And like also like there was like footprints on my carpet and they couldn't have been mine because they were smaller than mine and my sister hadn't been in my room in a while, so it was just like freaky, you know? But like I don't know if that house was haunted or if it was just because I was going through a lot at the time. This was like during a weird point when I moved there. This is during a weird part of my life where emotions were pretty high and you know, I was going through like growing pains, and this was around the time where I started realizing that the world is a scary place because a lot of things were happening at the time, like in the world and in the news. And right before I moved there was when, like, this, for context, I live in New Jersey, and around the time I moved there was when 9/11 happened, and that was something that just like shook me so bad, because we were affected by it bad. Like we had people who lived nearby who never came back. Maybe, yeah. It could have been stress related. And like I said, it was during a really tough time in my life, and I guess like that was a time I associated with loss of innocence too, because this is just like, because I was still relatively new to the human world, and up until then everything was happy, everything was fine. And then that happened, and I realized that the world is a cruel place sometimes, and that people do things to each other that just don't make any sense. And in a way, this was also around the time when my emotional issues started happening, because this was around the time I was diagnosed with depression, and I started getting treatment for it. So I can't tell if what I was experiencing might have been related to that, or if there really was something going on. Maybe a bit of both. But like, you know, considering how new to life I was, I think it was both. Yeah, it can be cruel and but kind. And also I had like moved literally like a month after 9/11 happened. So I was just like still reeling. And you know, up until then I wasn't used to like big changes like that. But you know, luckily I was able to get treatment for what I was going through and therapy, and I definitely know I wasn't the only kid who was experiencing problems because of it. So like, because I would talk about it with the professionals, and they would say everything that I was experiencing and like feeling like the discomfort, the feeling of being unsettled, and like the feeling of being watched. They said like that, like they said that's perfectly normal because I was so anxious at the time. And so yeah, it was definitely part of like me being anxious and stressed out, and like because of the time and moving and like you know, just growing pains, you know. But you know, this was a while ago, and I've learned to cope with my anxieties and like the messy feelings I experience as somebody who is a bit unusual and of a supernatural origin myself. I guess one thing you can compare like my experiences with is the story of a changeling, because I am somebody who was taken in by parents who were very different from me. And like, I'm not 100% certain of my like biological parents. I've heard rumors over the years. Now, this is something I heard a while back. So apparently, like, my origins have to do. Oh, hello! Thank you for subscribing, Menium. I appreciate that. So one thing that I remember hearing like a really long time ago was that my biological mother had a whole bunch of like kids, and that I was the 13th child. And me being the 13th child, I might have been cursed. So I was born unusual, and like I guess as a beast, I kind of grew fast and like took off flying out of my. Oh, this is all real. This is all real. So like, I guess I grew up as a beast, like really fast, like almost full grown, I guess. And I just like took off flying out of the chimney, and just like ever since then people have called me the devil. But, you know, there's a lot of mystery. Yeah, so apparently, yeah, I don't really know much about that. I don't really know my real mother's name. I don't really know my like what happened to my other siblings. I don't know if they're like me. I don't know if they were just like born normally. There's just a lot I don't know, and I I'm not gonna lie, my memory of that time isn't very good. I just don't really remember much from that time other than just like trying to survive in the woods and in the wilderness. And like, of course, I did have some interesting experiences with other beings and humans, and I did travel some. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I did travel some, like when I was, like before I came to live with my parents in the 90s. Because again, I always had kind of like a human like form, so I was kind of able to blend in. So one of the places I visited was northern Canada, and let me tell you, like almost in the Arctic. Let me tell you, it's really fucking cold up there. Um, yeah, and so this must have been, oh God, maybe around the turn of the 20th century when I went there. Um, oh God, it's been that long. Oh my goodness. So anyway, this was like very, almost, yeah, almost the North Pole. So I was traveling with a group of humans at the time. And so we traveled in a train, and you know, they kind of left me alone because I have this great ability to scare people off when I don't really want to like interact with them. I was just kind of keeping to myself. So there was this family. It was a mother, a father, and like I think it was two boys. They were traveling with me, and there was an outbreak of diphtheria on the train. And, you know, being out in the wilderness, they didn't know what to do. And it was hard. It was heartbreaking. So we stopped in this village, and we were just trying to get some medicine for them. And I came across another creature like me, somebody who was half demon, half human. So she took us in, and she had some medicine that she had made herself. And thinking back at it, I think it was definitely some kind of antibiotic. So she gave it to the family, and while we were kind of tending to the family, she told me that she had come from the north, almost like the Arctic. And she told me that she had yeah, I do remember this clearly. I do remember this. But she had told me that because of industrialization, that the polar ice caps are melting. And that's why she came down south, was because the land up there is disappearing. But she said due to her demonic heritage, she could tell what kind of treatment that this family would need. And so while we were watching over the family, because you know, even though this is before I started living among humans, really, I wasn't completely heartless. And she would just show me all these different medicines that she made herself. And this was something that I was so fascinated with. And so I asked her to teach me. So this is where my interest in medicine came from, was because I studied under this woman. Oh, I'm fine, I'm fine. But, you know, I guess this was a very formative year for me. Even though I was still really afraid of being too close to people, I just really wanted to help them and give back. So while I've been away, I've actually been studying medicine, like more modern medicine, like pharmaceuticals and all that. And so right now, I've just learned so much, and I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm actually learning something meaningful. And for some reason, my brain has really taken to it. Like, I guess this is why I got into this. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was not that long. It was maybe for 2 years. But you know, there was a time where I just kind of forgotten like where my passions lie. And it was only in the past year where I realized that I wanted to study medicine again. So while I was gone, that's what I was working on. I was working on getting a license to practice this stuff. And I recently got the license, and I'm so proud that now I can actually apply what I learned to help people. Also, the pay grade has certainly helped. But, you know, if this demon with cobwebs in between her ears can pass a pharmaceutical board test, like, you all can do anything. Like I'm sure that whatever passion you've forgotten, whatever meaning that you gave up on, just go back to it. Go back and live your dreams. Go back and do that thing that you're meant to do. Oh, and the family did survive. And they returned to America eventually. But I was so grateful to have helped them out. I don't know if... No, you're pretty close. But this is just something that I'm very grateful that I've been able to do now. Because, you know, time is a little bit of a funky thing for me. There's some things that I've forgotten over the years. And I've kind of lost myself because of things that have happened, because of trauma, because of big life changes that have made me put these dreams on hold. But this is why I feel so good now. I feel hopeful that things are going to work out, that I'm going to be able to do what I was meant to do. But, you know, maybe I'm hoping someday that I'm able to go back there. And unfortunately, the ice caps are still melting. And yeah, it was a lot of time and effort. It was a lot to learn, too. But I'm proud of it. I'm proud because it's something that is mine, that I accomplished all on my own. But maybe I'll teach you all someday about what I've learned. But it's definitely not a substitute for like actual medical school, but I have picked up a lot. Also, like, I used to not like chemistry, but like learning like the chemical breakdowns of everything, that was so much fun for me. And like there's also little tips on how to remember, okay, which medicine is what and like what it's for. Because if you look at the names, it's kind of like in there. You just have to like remember. Yeah. 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 Like life is full of twists and turns and ups and downs. But we will always, things will always work out. Sorry, I'm just stretching because I was shrimping a bit. Just like hunched over a bit in my chair. Oh boy, I still need to build my desk. But I don't know. This is what I mean by I think people are ultimately kind, because I've just seen so many people help others and not expect anything in return. Yes, horrible things do happen, but like I think humans are more drawn to compassion than they are to cruelty. And honestly, I think a lot of the things, like selfish things that people have done, like theft and like, especially theft. Hello, Angel. Hello. Always good to see a kindred in chat. That makes me so happy. But like, this is why I think despite everything, people have great amount of compassion and empathy. Because things like theft, a lot of times that's done out of desperation rather than trying to hurt somebody. And this is like, this is why whenever I'm like shopping anywhere and I see somebody like, you know, sneaking in a few, sneaking some stuff into their bag, like I'm just like, it depends on the stuff. Like I've seen women in aisles like open up boxes of pads and like tampons and just like take out a few and put it in their bag, and I'm like, okay, like that's somebody who was really desperate. Like I'm not naive. I do know people do things, do theft out of greed and envy. But most of the time when people do stuff like that, like especially greed, it's somebody who does it because they can and they know they will get away with it. It's usually wealthy people, well-off people. Like, and it's usually like, you know, those big pyramid and Ponzi schemes. Yeah. Yeah, most of the stuff that's stolen is not luxury items. There's stuff that like people need like to survive. Yeah, it's hard out there. Like that when I worked retail, like I'd find open boxes of pads and tampons all the time. And I'm just like, you know what? Like period poverty is a thing. Like I'm just like not gonna say anything and just like defect it out. But like but you know, sometimes I would just like, you know, if I have somebody who looks like they might try to do that, like I always offer them something because I keep it on me all the time because this demon menstruates too, and I'm like, yeah, I would want somebody. Yeah. Well, that's people who just do it for the thrill. Like on Reddit, like shoplifters, like people who are just trying to flex that they can get away with it. Like, yeah, like there's many reasons why people shoplift, but you just have to examine why they're taking some, like what they're taking, and like the context of what they are taking. Like, again, I worked in asset protection too for a while too, and like I was just like, okay, whatever. Just like we would just like throw the stickers on the high theft items, like those red metal stickers. You've probably seen those. And a lot of the stuff, it was a lot of the time it was stuff like makeup, but like nail polish or like false lashes, like little things that people can just slip into their bag. And it's like I would just do stuff like that to prevent theft, like put the tags on them. But if it was for something that people needed for survival, like food or hygiene items, I would just like look the other way. Oh, I'm trying to think, what was the most high theft item? Oddly enough, it was baby formula was a high theft item. And I don't think it was people who were trying to take it because they needed to feed their kids. I think they were taking it to resell, because when I worked retail, there was actually a baby formula shortage for a while. So I think, because I once caught this woman who had a cart full of it, but she like put clothes on top of the baby formula to cover it. And I was like, okay, like I know what you're doing. A lot of the times if you just like approach them and just like greet them and offer them service, they'll just like abandon their cart. And that's what she did. Yeah. Yeah, scalpers are the worst. Oh god, remember like when the PS5 had just came out and like people were like buying it to like resell, and I'm like, why? Like that's like $1,000 console, and like people didn't want to buy from scalpers because it was released around the time the holidays were coming, and it was like the 2020, like that how shitty that year was. And I think people just wanted to like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, because like I knew, yeah, yeah, yeah. I finally got one in 2022. And like that took forever. And I bought it at like a Target. I didn't like buy it from a scalper. I just like happened to come across one on the shelf, and I was like, hey, can I get this? And so I bought it then. Oh yeah, I know there were people who were like, because this was like during a time where a lot of people were unemployed and like really short on money. And I noticed that there were Facebook groups dedicated to like people like basically donating unused baby formula because their kid had outgrown it and didn't need it anymore. So they were like, hey, like if anybody needs this, like I can give it to you, like just stop by. Like I think that was like really nice. It was like all parents, and they were just like, hey, like I let's look out for each other and each other's kids. Yeah. We had to get like formula sent from Canada actually, because I think what happened was one of the major like manufacturing plants had to be shut down. So I think that's what happened, why there was such a shortage. But that was probably the worst product shortage of all time. Like, the toilet paper thing, like, there are other ways to like clean yourself, and people got bidets and or just like bathed and stuff like that. Yep. Yeah. Like not all babies can drink breast milk. Not all babies can have that. There's some babies who are allergic to breast milk and they need formula. So like yeah, it was just horrible knowing that there were people who were trying to take advantage of desperate parents. So like that's why I felt better about stopping that woman who was obviously trying to take it. Yeah. Yeah. Or like if the kid's adopted, then obviously they can't breastfeed the kid. Like yeah, that was like a thing with Nestle too. I know there was like that, oh gosh, like that thing with Nestle where they like pushed their baby formula and like people became so reliant on it that they couldn't breastfeed anymore. Like I'm not gonna shame any mother or parent for how they decide to feed their kid. We're just yapping here. For how they decide. I'm not gonna shame anybody for how they decide to feed their kid. Like as long as that kid's getting fed, like and that kid's getting fed what they need. Like that's ultimately what people should care about. Like who cares? Yeah. Wonderful things came up on your feed. Oh god. 12 o'clock already? Oh my god, is it really that late? Why is this music so loud? Hang on. There we go. All right. Well, I got a little distracted there. So my deep discussions. This is why this is why hmm. Okay, sorry. I was just looking at something. Give me 1 minute. I just got a message. Boo boo doo doo. Just checking this message that I received because I feel like it's could be important. Oh, okay. Never mind. We're good. We're good. Um so I wonder what everybody's doing for Halloween tonight. I know I'm working, unfortunately. I doubt I'm going to be very busy today. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a slow day. And I hope it doesn't become too boring because Halloween's my favorite. If I wasn't busy today, I would probably like stay in or like dress up and help give out candy. But I feel like I don't even need a costume. I already look weird enough. But yeah, I hope everyone has fun too. Oh my goodness. Uh, I don't know what I would want. Ooh. Actually, it'd be so funny if I could be an angel for Halloween. Like, I don't know. Wonder if there's an angel counterpart for myself. I've never run into them, but that'd be an interesting time. I heard a lot of demons do have angel counterparts, but I've just never run into her. I would like to meet her someday. Maybe I'll have her come on my channel and we can hang out. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like the biblical counterpart of myself. I feel like that'd be so much fun. What do you think? Should I invite her onto my channel? Like, I think that'd be, yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. Just to chat with one, get to know each other. Maybe we'll get to be good friends. Maybe we'll just hate each other, who knows? I don't think the world's ready for that, honestly. I don't think the world's ready for another me. Oh. Ooh. Might become too powerful. So, there was something I wanted to do this Saturday. I haven't set up the waiting room yet, but I do plan on doing an archive stream. Probably going to be a long stream, just to be sure that everyone who wants to watch a bit of it can. Probably do some music, probably chat a bit. Forbidden topics might be talked about because it is going to be on archive. So who knows? Who knows? It'll probably be quite long. Maybe it's about 6 hours. So don't worry about missing a bit of it. I'm sure a lot of people will be able to pop in whenever they would like to. I'd say like unarchived streams are so fun because it's just like forbidden. I don't know, whatever comes to my mind. I don't know, I like the idea of something happening and then it just like vanishes without a trace. I'd like that. So like, and then just like never acknowledging it again. Um, Probably just like sussy stuff. Like, I don't know, whatever comes to mind. Maybe I might do some drinking too, so like who knows what might happen if I get a little goofy. But the only reason it'll be on archive is I plan on doing some karaoke. But I'll probably create the waiting room sometime tomorrow. Just so you all know the time. I'm thinking 11 to 5, maybe? Oh, don't worry, it won't be the only one. It won't be the only one. I'll definitely do more. But who knows? It'll be an interesting time. And I plan on streaming tomorrow, probably around the same time, because my work schedule is the same. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I might do like I might record it and then like do a read broadcast. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Might not. I don't think I'll drop anything like big, so don't worry. Hello, Chartute RV. Hello. But I'll probably stream around the same time tomorrow. I kind of want to try ASMR streams. I don't have an ASMR mic, but I'll do my best. It'll be my first time, so I hope y'all like it. Like, nah. Don't worry about it. It's like, it won't be the only time I'll do something like that. Let's go, it's murder. But like, it's something that I've been wanting to try. And like, now that I have like a decent streaming space, like, I don't know, I'm sure I can pull it off. But, and I hope you all like it. But that's something that I'm just like nervous about. Mainly because I don't know. I feel like, again, like I said, I want to grow out of my comfort zone. I don't know if I would do a mommy voice. I don't think I can do a mommy voice. I don't know if I can. But I don't know. I just feel like there's so many expectations as to what ASMR should be. But you know, Oshi's first ASMR was a little rough, but you know, he learned. But I don't know. I feel like I get too loud to do a proper ASMR because I yell a lot. But it'll probably be at the same time, 10:30 to 12. I can try. I could try, but I don't know. Again, it's something that I've never done before, so it does scare me a bit, but like that's something I wanted to do was get out of my comfort zone and like start varying my content and doing more than what I've already been doing because before I moved out, I felt so limited with what I could do. And I felt like I had to act a certain way. But now that I have this space. Yeah. Obviously, I don't think it'll be sus. I don't think I will do sus ASMR content just yet. I just need to like get more comfortable with it. I probably will eventually, once I get more practice. Obviously, I don't think. Yeah, I can do wholesome. I think probably the more like wholesome stuff will be on YouTube, and I might release sus like on Patreon, probably behind like a $5 paywall. Who knows? Because I do eventually want to do it. I do. It's just I feel like I need practice. But we'll see. We'll see. But because I do have my Fansly too. Maybe I'll upload more stuff onto that too. But obviously, like stuff on YouTube, I need to like stick with the like content guidelines. So that's probably why I won't upload anything too sussy here. But it'll be out there. It'll be out there. Again, like I feel like I just need to build my confidence with this stuff and get more comfortable with doing this, performing in front of an audience, and maybe writing a script once in a while. I'll probably do like $5 a month if I were to do that. Because, like, I feel like that's a fair price. Like, I'll make it $5 to unlock the content, but I might make like a higher tier just as something people can do if they really want to support me. Like the content will be $5, and then like other tiers will be something else. But like, I'm not gonna hide any content behind like a higher paywall, because I just want it to be something accessible to anything. And the only reason I want to put it behind a paywall is because I don't want it like as readily accessible. Because I feel like paywalling it like makes it so like minors can't access it as easily. Because that's something that always like scares me, is minors interacting with my content, because like I don't dislike children. Oh boy. I don't know if I go that far. I don't know if I'll ever show skin, like actual skin, like flesh skin. I do want to do hand cams, but maybe. Again, like I said, I need to like get more comfortable, like just ease into it. I feel like that's not enough. $40? That's kind of low balling yourself for that. Like, come on. I would maybe like do like a, because you gotta like have some bargaining leverage. Like that might be like a good Donathon award, like reward, like incentive. But like $40, that's too low. Like, I'm sorry. Like Donathon incentive, like, yeah, I feel like that'd be like a good incentive for stuff like that. But Hey, hey, hey. That sounds like something one of my friends would do, honestly. I know somebody who's like not even a lewd tuber who got an OnlyFans just for the meme. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like if you're going to show like actual skin, like $48 isn't enough. Especially for a VTuber. Especially for a VTuber. Like, maybe if they were like a regular face cam streamer, but like VTubers, part of the appeal is the character themselves. And like, I don't know. That's just like not enough for me to do something like that. I don't come cheap. Like, if they think that, I don't know. I would say, again, like, maybe have that be a donathon incentive, like that kind of stream. Like, once they've raised enough money, like, have it be a milestone, and once they've raised that money, then to do it. But, like, I don't know. Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. If it's like, if it's like something normal for them, like if they normally do lingerie or nude streams, I'd say sure, go for it. But if it's something that's like special, then like I would say make it higher. But that's just my opinion. Like, I feel like VTubers already do enough. Like, most VTubers, their content is free, like 100% free. And I feel like, you know, showing skin and like doing stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, you know, they should do whatever they feel comfortable doing. But if it's like something that is out of the normal, I would say make it higher. But again, supply and demand, you know, I'm just I'm just a girl online. What do I know? What do I know? It's going very well. I was giving lewd tuber advice apparently. I was saying that $40 is too low for a nude stream. But I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I've lost the point. I don't know. I feel like hello gays. Hello. I feel like people like undervalue themselves when it comes to like their content and their art. Like one of my friends, she's an amazing artist and she's charging only $10 for like a fully colored sketch. And I'm like, Girl, you need to like raise your prices, please. Like $10 isn't isn't even like a tank of gas where I live. Like, please raise your prices. Like, I understand it's hard, but like, yeah. Yeah. I might do a donathon once I get enough subscribers. The move is going amazing. I am like 90% done. I don't have a desk yet. I'm streaming on a stack of boxes right now. But, you know, I'm in. I got the most important stuff. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, like, people have to, like, think of themselves, too. Like, you know, the cost of the time it'll take to make something like that, and, like... Yeah, homemade. Oh gosh, like I'm just gonna like tell you what the boxes I have here are. A couple of like Amazon boxes. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I have a shoe box. I have like a what is it? What is Yeah. Good, good. Create a nice color palette. Yeah. So I have a rice cooker box because I bought a new rice cooker when we moved. And I for like yeah, I definitely could. Oh yeah, I saw that anime girl mascot and I feel like that was a big mistake because horrible things are going to happen to that mascot now because I know the internet. What would you all say about me having a mascot? I feel like I need a mascot character. I feel like I do, eventually. She has the power of God and anime on her side. Literally. Oh my god. It's literally that me. Oh yeah, another box I'm using is... Yeah. It's true. It's true. Lowering the price might not get you the customers. I also feel like the algorithm on social media sites makes it really hard for artists too. Because like you would think the For You page on Twitter would be like stuff you would be interested in and like discoverability, but no, it's like all garbage. And it's like even Muskrat is like showing up on my For You page and I'm like, I'm not interested in this, man. Like get him off of here. It's really difficult. And like but yeah. Eden is my favorite anime god. Yes. Yes. All right. Well, I do appreciate you all showing up today. Maybe. Maybe. I do want to think of one. I do. It'll be fun, though. If y'all have any ideas, just let me know. I am open. I am open to any ideas. If y'all are in my Discord, feel free to share some designs there, or yeah, yeah. Maybe. Yes. Gaius has been hard at work on his comic. Yeah. Yeah, I know so many people who like learned how to draw because they drew comics. Like, definitely do a comic story. I do recommend it. And like, it'll give you like good practice with expressions and like storytelling and like all that. Like, please, like, I encourage all creative projects. Please, especially in the age of AI art, just please create. Like, I'm begging you. Like, don't ever stop drawing. Don't ever stop painting, like sculpting, whatever you've been doing. Yeah. I can share them in my Discord. Yeah, I definitely can. Like, just please don't give up on your art. Like, your art is valuable. Like, it has value. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to redraw a lot. But like, art has value. Art is beautiful. Like, please, like, don't let art become something that's cheapened by AI. Like, just keep drawing and like don't ever give up like on it. Like, it's worth it. Your talent is worth it. Hi Krupta, thank you for stopping by. Well, unfortunately I do have to end stream because yeah, I agree. AI art is crap. It all looks the same. But like I do have yeah. I do have to end stream because I do have to get ready for work. But I appreciate you all stopping by. Like, I really do. And this was an interesting stream. Just me rambling whatever came to my mind. And, like, yeah, I really appreciate you all. I'll probably stream same time tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Like, all right. I hope you all have a wonderful day and happy Halloween. Bye bye.